And we are on the air. All right, this is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. And welcome to the third weekly episodic of my series, Any Given Sunday. Thank you for joining me for this broadcast, as it sure, like the other ones, is to be a very interesting one. So, before we get started, what I'd like for you to do, if you haven't, if you're watching the video at this point, is to go below the screen, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit the notification bell as we are walking in. And just give me a moment, real quick, uh, because let me tell you, anything can happen on any given Sunday, or any given day for that matter. So we're gonna get into the foolishness here in a little bit, but the the topic for this particular broadcast is better to believe you are a fool than to let everyone know. Okay, shout out Don Calypso. Shout out to you, sir. About to get this discussion going, or monologue, whichever one comes first. Shoot. So I hope everybody had a good, safe weekend. As always, taking precautions for the coronavirus, which has become a regular way of life, which, a lot of people feel isn't necessary, but, people get to vent and, express their views sort of kind of on the 3rd of November, because that is election day. And one piece of advice that I give everyone is to vote for the person that best aligns with your interests. Don't feel like that you have to be forced into doing anything for anyone, because tell you what, man, what I don't really see out here that much are mature political debates. And I don't understand why black people can't have mature political debates, because as far as politics in this system, we're all in the same place. Uh, uh, D Rock, Den, I see you. Shout out. Thanks for joining. And the important thing is this. A guy like me, I don't care what it is. Is like, as far as my stance on the black community, I don't want us to go out here always looking like fools, making fools of ourselves. But I much rather have any of us believing that we're a fool, and to actually let everyone know that we are. Like, let me give you a quick example. Um, when you run across that random black person every now and again that says, you know, try to associate, their foolishness with their blackness, so to speak. Saying, like, one thing I used to hear growing up from people is, don't make the black come out of me. And when a person says that, they're already putting some kind of negative connotation on being black. Like, we associate all the fuckery, all the negativity, all the violence with being black by saying that one statement. I don't know if, for anyone in the audience, if you've ever heard of any one black person that tries to do that, thinking that, I guess blowing up or going off or anything to that effect is somehow makes you blacker. And and when I say this kind of thing, it's not for other races. It's for our race. The ADOS, black, African American, whatever label you prefer. But the thing is, what I never liked seeing growing up is, black people being associated with foolishness, because sometimes foolishness can be entertaining, but it's like we don't want to get caught up in that either, because the entertainment part is what's going to mess us up. Now, let me get back to the part where I said that we associate our blackness with foolishness. And because one thing is for certain, we wonder why. we get treated the way we get treated a lot of times by even our people. You know, our people, our people, some of our people, because of the foolishness in the black community, they always want to leave. They want to leave. They want to call themselves going, to making better lives because they don't like the part where black people start to act foolish and negative, and they feel like it's a bad look on them. I'm not too particularly a fan of that, mentality, leaving the community because there are a few bad apples. But I understand. Sometimes people don't want to be associated with that foolishness. Sometimes people want to live, quiet, stable lives. And, that's understandable. So, I mean, we can, as a people, without infringing or even so much having to make noise about it, we can provide that peacefulness to ourselves. Because even though, like I said, we have a system that is seemingly against us, there's always this thing called personal choice. You can always make the choice to be better, act better, and do better. We always can. We preach about this kind of thing quite often. It's called accountability. It's called accountability. If you have accountability, you can avoid a lot of foolishness. Seriously. Like, say, for instance, if you get in an argument with someone, it's a total misunderstanding, and you were wrong. Even though you might be in the heat of the moment, a little later, accountability might come to you. And you will say something like, hey, you know what? I was a little wrong. I was a little foolish about this. I maybe need to fix this a little bit. Maybe I need to fix this. So accountability does that. Some of us lack accountability. And it shows. And social media is very telling. Now, social media, yeah, that makes everybody looks like fools every now and again. Shoot, I remember a couple times where I felt like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should have made a better decision as far as what I said to someone. But what I try to do is whatever I say, make sure that there's some kind of underlying real message behind it, whether it's harsh or soft. Make sure that the message stays real and stays true. A lot of these people get up here and just say anything. They will say any fucking thing that they see, and pardon my French, but they will say anything that they feel like comes to mind that makes the argument valid. Now, speaking of fools, we had a person come up to the panel last night, and it's not like that. I want to get at this guy or go off on this guy, but it's his behavior I just did not like, and the reason why I don't like behavior like that coming from people who are supposed to be adults, and I stated this before, and I'll state this again. Some people are gracious enough to come to my panel. They go to Roger's panel. They go to Donnie's panel. And when they take the time out of their day to come do that, then we want to, you want to treat them with the utmost, as long as they're not saying stupid stuff. I mean, this dude comes up here and it was pretty much obvious that he wasn't here, to have a conversation. He was just here being majorly disruptive and started disrespecting people. See, when I allow that kind of thing to go on this platform right here, then that stands a real huge chance of making myself and whoever I'm associated with at the time look foolish. And then those guys that come up here and are gracious enough to, uh, you know, voluntarily give their time and energy into sharing their thoughts, then that's only not fair to them is unfair to your audience as well that come here looking for a good conversation. And I just want to let everyone know that I don't condone that kind of tone or behavior here on this platform. I think that, I mean, myself and Roger and Donnie have made, strides and have gone very far to make sure that you guys know that we are not that kind of platform. That we are not a platform where, black people are just going to blow up and fight each other. We may say a lot of things, a lot of strong things, but guarantee those are things that need to be said, and we can thoroughly explain ourselves. Now, for the guy that was coming up here, he was giving his own facts. I mean, he was saying stuff that was really crazy and out the way, and it's just that when okay, if I'm a program that's not known for that, and that goes for anybody with a platform. If you're not a platform that's known for that, there's no use in having those kinds of people around, and that's the truth. I don't. It's for even if it was not for my sake, for my family's sake, to not come to YouTube to look like a fool, or to have, or anyone to try to make me look like a fool, or to make my guests look like a fool. If you want to look like a fool, do that shit on your own. And that's for that guy. Honestly, because when he was up here, it went from kind of making me scratch my head here to kind of batshit crazy. you know, but that's that. I mean, I guess that's the human in all of us. We feel like that we have the need to be heard, but see, the difference between me and that person is I'll go to another platform and conducting myself as long as I'm receiving the proper due respect. But it's never gonna be my job to blow up, act a fool, act ratchet. What I used to hear as a kid, I don't make the black come out of me, because I kind of said that I kind of told this guy you about to make the other Kev come out, and it's just to me that's me justifying my own foolishness, because there is that part where a person can get under me and can start like kind of making me do that. But then again, that's giving that person power to make me look like a fool, which demoralizes my power. And then it kind of makes me look like, every time I come around, people like, he's part of the scene. It doesn't really mean anything when he says stuff. For those watching, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to, like, it's just like with reality shows. And, I've known that there have been plenty of people that have complained about the reality shows. Just like them. They always blowing up and they always looking like fools. And then get mad at the people who say they look like fools. And they let America know every time they go on the air. It continues to further demoralize our image. If you enjoy stuff like that and stuff like that is fake, and then that's cool. But still, it's not a good look. But hey, you know what? I'm not the behavior and attitude police. All I can tell you is if you act a certain way, then people are going to react to you a certain way. Period. And hopefully you're grown enough to understand that. So anyway, so the person that came up to the platform last night and he started, like I'll give you an example of the kind of things he was saying. He was saying that, Ice Cube, he was real mad about Ice Cube. Ice Cube's worth $650 million. That's what he was saying. I look it up. It says Ice Cube is only worth $160 million. Now, if we're not counting like a lot of his other assets and stuff like that, which, I couldn't find anything on, I would, even if the guy had said like 350 million or something like that, it wouldn't still made a bigger difference as the number he said and the number I found. and told me to my face I was lying. And I had it up there on the screen, big as day. Now, come on now. Even if the Googled information, which confirmed it in several articles, was wrong, I had something tangible to show people. You can't say that I'm lying and it's displayed on the fucking screen just like that. You're letting everybody know you're a fool. Period. Yeah. Even if that information was somehow wrong, you're arguing with me with your bullshit dummy number. But from what I heard about this guy, a lot of people know that this guy is like that anyway. But but hey, it's let me put it to you like this: if people come up to this panel and they're being too disruptive, they're off. They're off, and the panel is open. I did put a StreamYard link in for anyone watching who might want to join up and share their thoughts on this subject. And the any given Sunday topics, I'm going to go ahead and explain this for the audience sake. Um, it's just an open discussion like any other. I'm just giving the topic some kind of basis to expand off of. So if anyone would like to join me and start, speaking on some things they feel like, then hey, you know what? That's what we can do because and we can all be mature about it and not make ourselves look like fools. Now, I'll tell you what though. People have been trying to, some people now, not this is not a big enough problem yet because to me, if one or two people are doing this in particular, I don't view it as a big problem anyway because those people are easy to handle. But people try to make a fool out of me. Imagine being the guy that has the balls to actually name something to highlight the honesty of black men, and we are not. And we as black men are not looked at as we don't have a very good look at us right now, unless of course we're a pro athlete, some mega rich guy, some entertainer, somebody of some kind of status of power. you know that's why we catch a lot of flack here in the black manosphere. But believe me, it's power. It's power in that. And if you don't believe that, just say something that someone slightly disagrees with, and you'll understand the power you have to change how that person feels. Don Calypso, I told you root beer radio has Asperger's. Okay, okay, yeah. I guess he got something. He's something else. He's something else. He is. So just like that, for anyone watching, you got any questions, you can participate in the chat. Over here on this platform, I'm very interactive with my chat. Uh, is if just keep it respectful, and the moderators won't snipe you. I had to, yeah. There's another guy. Like he was in the chat last night, and he's a sub. I don't know if he is a sub anymore because I timed him out, and he's been very participative in the comments on my pre-recorded videos. But he comes up talking crazy because we're basically talking about the label ADOS versus people of color, and I was pretty much saying, I accept myself as a black man because, that's pretty much all I know. And I know technically I'm not black because of a crayon. And he just come up here and just started shooting off all his mouth and started talking about, hey, what white people letting us do. And he was just spewing off some white supremacist garbage. So, yeah, that was the guy that was looking like a fool, but he had some kind of personal vendetta against Tariq Nasheed. And he decides to make a threat. So for any moderators, if you see people threatening folks in the chat, just time them out because they're like I say, YouTube, and these social media platforms, they're becoming quite sensitive. If somebody is putting out brutal truths or being brutally honest with everyone, on, then they're going to take closer looks at those channels, especially if they're run by blacks and black men in particular. So, we got to be careful over here. And, I'm going to start making FS Avenger videos real soon. Yeah, I do have that for everyone's information, for those of you who are familiar with FS Avenger, I do have a channel over there. I only have 3 videos because my primary focus for videos have been YouTube. But Free Speech Avenger is one of our platforms. So, for content creators, I mean, it's a jungle over there. It's a jungle. Some of those guys are straight savages, but if that platform will allow me to show a side of myself that a lot of people is like, oh, okay, if he could be like that on YouTube. But yeah, it's some real shit. Some real shit. But anyway, the subject for tonight is better to believe you're a fool than to let everyone know. I first heard this in elementary school because I was kind of an unruly, not unruly, just a real talky, jokey type guy. I'll put it like that. And I used to do that a lot in a classroom. So a substitute teacher came one day, and I guess I was angry and upset, and I expressed it. And she said to me, better to believe you're a fool than to let everyone know. And the kids were like, "Ooh," like that was because I guess that was the first time a lot of us heard it, but they were just like, "Ooh, man, she dropped some." We were saying she was dropping some real shit back then. That's exactly what those kids would have said. Oh, she dropping some real shit, But it stuck with me because it's true. It's true. It's way better. It's way better to believe you're a fool than to let everybody know that you are one. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of us that got things inside of us that we would never tell people. We'll believe it, but we'll never tell. And I would say being a fool is one of them. All right. So, what's making a fool out of us right now? What have people, I don't know. I guess if I start talking about our blind support for the Democratic Party and Joe Biden, then people are going to start accusing me of being a Trump supporter. But I don't give a fuck. Let's go ahead and just get into it. Your weekend warrior, Kev. I don't know. As of late, I mean, I grew up believing that I had to vote Democrat. I had to vote down ballot Democrat, all Democrat, no matter what. Yeah, I didn't even have to know about the candidates. I mean, just Democrat. But I started taking a look at the candidates, and there's a lot of people on the Democrat side that didn't align with my values, and there's a lot of people on the conservative side that did align with my values and beliefs. Now, I haven't switched beliefs. I just kind of dropped one belief set. Because I don't know. I can't really be a guy that considers himself a liberal, I would say, but in order for me to even co-sign with anything like conservatism, I have to have more information, including the one big question: how good is it for the black community that, conservatism? Because what I see from conservatism is a bunch of white pricks on Capitol Hill saying that, no, you can't have this, you can't have that, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't dare ask them about the black community because the answers that were given me, I would pretty much expect those answers. I'm not going to make a fool of myself and believe me that they're actually going to give me an answer I want and then follow through with their goody answer. But one thing I do notice is that, we as a people, we blindly follow the Democrats. And I know, and from what I can tell, I've been kind of social experimenting with people. I will go ask Democrats certain questions, and I will go ask, well, Democrats and liberals certain questions, and I'll ask conservatives and Republicans certain questions. And the Democrat questions will be simple. Okay, it's like, the simplest question, like, why do you support Joe Biden? Okay, now imagine you ask that question. Something as simple as asking that question, and the response you get is, you must support Trump. Now I asked you why you support Joe Biden. Where did you must support Trump come from? Well, you must support Trump. You're asking me why I support Biden. And then, they give their little runoff list of why they support Biden. He's lesser two evils. Trump is racist, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then you bring up the 1994 crime bill, and then people will be like, especially black people, if they didn't want to go to jail, they should not have broken the law. And then you get up a Forrest Gump meme, and just like that, black people are Blue Lives Matter. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You say you want criminal justice reform, but you want criminal justice reform because of the devastating effects of the crime bill that was authored by Joe Biden. So you want either criminal justice reform or you want Joe Biden as president. You could literally explain it just like that. You can explain it just like that. Okay, you want criminal justice reform or do you want Joe Biden as president? You'll still get called a Trump supporter. And then you start, you start getting, words thrown at you like coon and sellout. All because you challenged their thought and you made them think. You made them think. Okay, he did author the crime bill. We always talk about criminal justice reform. So why do you think Biden is a better president? Would be a better president than what Trump is now? They might be. I mean, and I've always said this about politics on Capitol Hill. They're two sides of the same coin. That's when I dropped this little stupid belief that the Democrats were just, the good guys and the Republicans were the bad guys. Now, I'm not saying that the Republicans are spring chickens because, but better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And I just feel like the Democratic Party is the devil you don't. And and just like I said, just think about it. Just think about it. But better yet, for the audience, I got a question. What is worse to you? Racist words or racist actions? No, ain't neither one of them is good. But I would guess that your answer would be the one that affects you the most, like tangibly, like put things, but like put things in place that will infringe on your rights and hold you back. Any set of words, no matter what they are. I mean, I can insult you to the top of my lungs. You piece of shit! I hope you die. Fuck you! Ah. But unless I put an action with it, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. You have to be annoyed. It might trigger you a little bit, but as far as physical harm, no way. That's not the physical harm's not gonna happen no matter how harsh the words are. But then you got racist actions. Things like putting you in handcuffs and not giving you a reason, putting your knee with your full body weight on a man's neck, jumping on a windshield and emptying 5 clips into the couple that's inside the car. Burning down a whole town just because everybody with a different ethnicity than you are striving and doing well. That kind of thing. That racist actions. Hey, I will say the racist actions piss me off more than racist words. I mean, Honestly, at the end of the day, I think Trump is just being a white man. I mean, I know that sounds kind of strange. Well, never make him a little racist. Yeah, I don't doubt that he's a little racist. I don't doubt that. But then again, it's like for a racist, he sure's been making an effort to try to communicate with black people. Hell, back in the day when you dealt with real racism, they turned you away if you couldn't guess how many jelly beans were in the jelly bean jar. Oh, you didn't know off the top of your head who the 19th president was. That kind of thing. You know, like my dad when he was a kid, being chased home by white kids throwing rocks at him. So, whatever. Racism, racist words, racist actions, whatever. But let me tell you how the Democrats are kind of making fools of black people. Seriously, and this is on the surface level. You can't even have a mature political discussion with a black person that is a liberal or Democrat. Now, really, honestly, that kind of goes for the Republicans too. Because, I went against a Trump supporter on Bernie Sanders and they called me broken entitled. That was just one Trump supporter. The rest of the Trump supporters have been kind of concise and respectful. And that's from my personal experience. I ain't saying all Trump supporters are respectful. I'm just saying most of the ones that I run into. But when you run into a liberal, you ask them simple questions like black Democratic voters, they treat you like you're wearing a white hood. If for simply asking questions. Shout out to Southeast Dusty. Peace, my brother. Yeah. And like I said, then they start talking about they Jesus Obama. And I mean, like, I'm not a what you call an Obama hater, so to speak. But I'm not gonna treat the man like he Jesus because the Flint water crisis situation, that always will stick out to me. That will always, and I mentioned that to Obama, the Obamacrat last night. He called himself. Why would you call yourself an Obamacrat at this point? He's not running. I mean that makes you look like a fool. I'm an Obamacrat. Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that an actual party? What is it? What is the policies that they got in place in the Obamacrats? Make sure you look as good as possible in family pictures. I mean, Obama's not running. It's Biden and Trump. My dad said something to me a little while back regarding like this election. He said black people talk to each other every four. I mean, not black. Oh, wow, so off. Sorry about that. Said Democratic Party only talk to black people every 4 years. Donald Trump must have heard somebody say that because every time you about see Donald Trump in the news or some social media picture has gone viral, he's in the picture with black people. Now I don't know if that was the world's smartest campaign strategy to try to rope in blacks, but I was telling somebody today that was on that Biden train. I was like, Trump's popularity is way bigger than you guys is being made out to be. Way bigger. Now, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. Quite frankly, F the guy. But facts are facts. And what I can see is the Democrats, I mean, even in the 2016 election, they're not they're not imposing a winning strategy. They're not. Black people, and here's how black people get used every time. And it's kind of a good thing for blacks, but it's a bad thing for blacks as well. We get used in political causes because we are so passionate about everything. We approach everything with such zeal and such persistence. We as a people, were able to do things and make it look so damn good that it's the thing to do. That's who we are as black people. And the Democrats have figured that out. That, that we are such a passionate people. If we deliver our messages passionately enough, then people will sign on with us. And this not and don't think that this just counts for rap music and entertainment. We are a very powerful people. But the thing is, people know how to use us and manipulate us to use our power to serve their purposes. And that right there, we have to stop before it even starts. That's why the Democrats use us so much. That's why they calling Kamala Harris a black woman. And you see how fast a lot of black people hopped on that. Now that right there is making all of us look like, no, not me. I ain't gonna ever say Kamala Harris is black. I'm not ever gonna say Kamala Harris is black, because it's like this: her values really don't align with black people values, and the fact that they called her a black woman should let y'all know something. And then I hate the way she speaks when she's being interviewed, because it seems like she tries to speak with some kind of sass, and that sass is so fake. Like I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you are a fan of Kamala Harris. And I said, like, I put this little weird thing in my community tab. I was like, the wrestler Kamala the Ugandan Giant passed away that Monday. That Tuesday, Joe Biden announced that Senator Kamala Harris would be his vice presidential running mate. And then, I used to be a guy that had a tinfoil hat. I mean, this Illuminati shit right here. God, what the fuck? I mean, but it seemed like I was the only one that noticed that. It was like, well, I don't know. If you're not a fan of old school WWF wrestling, you wouldn't know who Kamala the Ugandan Giant was. But this dude was named James Harris. His last name was Harris. But, I'm not going to carry that too far anyway. You know, but if you believe in like all the tinfoil stuff, ritual sacrifice and everything, this death and all this other Illuminati stuff. I mean, let me tell y'all something. That stuff was making a fool out of me. Yeah, because it was like that. I was real deep into that stuff. Like, I was looking up the YouTube videos while the I guess the first I guess it was after the 2008 2009 YouTube gender wars that I never saw. But I keep hearing about. They had a bunch of conspiracy theorists come out on YouTube. They had a bunch of conspiracy theorists, and I remember a lot of them. And and I got so wrapped up in it, all the Illuminati, all of the third eye and everything. I pulled up at the job I was working at the time, and it was like I guess it was like a clearing of branches. That, like, I looked up, and it, like, the branches were aligned, and it was shaped like an eyeball. It was like shaped like an eyeball, had the iris, and it had all the pupil, all that stuff. I mean, for real, the way the leaves were set up, it was like one eyeball was looking at me. And, I was some good green back then, too. I looked at the eyeball. I'm like, man, I'm going to stop messing with this Illuminati stuff. I'm gonna stop messing with it, man, because it's like there's some very real spirit. That was me then. Like, right now I'm thinking like, yeah, I'll just probably just wigging out a little bit, maybe overreacting, but shoo. Yeah, I used to be that guy. I used to be the guy that used to look at pictures of, people who would do I would guess the little 3-ring sign, where they look like they're doing like I would say the OK sign, but it's supposed to represent, like, each finger's supposed to represent a 6 or something like that. Yeah, I used to be on all that stuff. Then I used to go talk to family members about it. Now, if you want to look like a fucking fool, go talk to family members. because I love family members. They're cool people. you know, yeah, they are cool. I'm blood related. They blood related to me. They cool as fuck. Whatever. But go to a family member and talk to them um, about these conspiracy theories and the Illuminati, and but and they'll just kind of look at you. Hey, boy, you need to go to church. You need to go pray. Just pray about it. Just pray, 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 pray. Shoot. And then I turn around, you just mad because I'm talking about Beyonce. So I mean, it's all good. Just we just can't just allow ourselves to just get pulled in on every little thing and just allow ourselves to be made into gigantic ass fools. Just like the guy that was threatening Tariq Nasheed. Like, why are you threatening Tariq Nasheed? Man, I don't like that dude. Doesn't know me. I know him only because of social media. You know, the man said I'm going to smoke him. I was like, ooh, wow, he really got you like that. Shoot. So basically, if something happened to Tariq, they'll refer to this broadcast and look at your comment. No, I don't think it's that deep. But you know, I mean, don't make yourself look foolish in these comment sections. Seriously. Yeah. So, all right. Wow. Like I say, I hope everybody's had a safe week. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I could talk about an incident in my younger days where I used to get people wrong. Like I had a whole argument with a person, and then discovered that through that argument, which was 10 minutes, it was the wrong person I was arguing with, and that taught me about taking bad information. Bad information, yeah, bad information. Learn how to take information from sources you can trust, and then even check those sources. Like a lot of things happen, like I guess in this space, and a lot of people tend to make fools of themselves because of bad information they're not even willing to check out. Say for instance, believe all women. Believe all women. If you do that, you are allowing liars and dishonest people to control you. And I'm not saying that's about all women. I'm not saying that about all women. I'm just saying that about some. The vast majority on social media. As a matter of fact, they give out a bit of information. It could be completely false, and people will run with it. People run with it. People run with that bullshit. But what really kind of gets under me a little bit is when you go get the right information and they still won't accept it. You know how foolish that makes us look? Is that, because when a person does that, they're using emotion to let their decision making, let it shape their decision making instead of looking for the right information. I don't care how badly I want something to be true. If it's a lie, I'm not gonna accept it. People let lies make them look foolish. And basically, that lie that can make you look foolish can actually, if it's the right kind of lie, can ruin your life. Let me give you an example. And we I've talked about Merlin Santana. Merlin Santana was he played on the Steve Harvey show as Romeo. Of course, like for those of you who know, Merlin Santana's dead. Um, he was shot and killed by a couple of guys who were running with a lie. Like Merlin Santana was messing with this girl. The girl said that she was raped by him, and they went and shot and killed him. Turns out the girl lied. So those guys are sitting in jail looking real foolish right now because their lives are over because of a lie. Has anybody ever lied to you and it's ever impacted you in such a negative way? Shoot. Merlin Santana's dead over a lie. Do you know how many people have died? How many people are in prison because of lies? Yeah, don't let anybody lie to you. That's why we got people right now. It's like, okay, if a woman approaches me and says that, and this is me too. I've already pretty much said my stance on family members, though. If somebody comes up to me and say something happened to them, of course I'm gonna have the knee jerk reaction. I'm gonna go kill the fool. I mean, so I can't really say that I need evidence from people who are real super close to me, but for everybody else, I need evidence. That's me admitting to bias. But try to get some evidence before you do anything because you're gonna end up like them guys who killed Merlin Santana. Yeah. Shout out to the chat. Oh my God, how did I miss this? At one point, Kamala Harris was black by ingestion when she cavorted with Willie Brown. Said she had some black in her. I don't know, man. I asked a question last week, and this was on Facebook, and I really am gonna stop using Facebook. Facebook is just a land of fools now. But I asked a question. Okay, granted, okay, Joe Biden authored the 1994 crime bill. Kamala Harris locked up people in botched up cases just to keep black men in jail and had a really huge incarceration rate with black men. If you're a black person, how in your right mind can you vote for Joe Biden if granted all of that is the case? And no one gives me a straight answer. Like I said earlier, oh, you must be supporting Trump. You must be a Trump supporter. You know, y'all gonna let that election make a fool out of y'all. y'all gonna let that election make a fool out of y'all, and is like, but of course these elections always make fools out of us because there's never anything for us, and then we get excited about them. We get excited on symbolism. Shout out to a lion in the winter. Oh yeah, that's Khalid. What's up, Khalid? How's it going? Yeah, and the subject matter is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. This is Any Given Sunday. I'm on weekly, but of course, as y'all can see, I'm on every weekend. I have christened myself the weekend warrior of this space because no one else right now is delivering. No one else right now is delivering consistent weekend program, and I'm that guy. So tune in every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right. All right. Just one moment. Just one moment. Here, let me check this out. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Just bear with me one moment. Just gotta do something real quick. Oh, yeah, that's a. I can holler at y'all at. I want to read something to y'all real quick. Let me, uh, let me, all right, just listen, cause I saw this on a GoFundMe page, and if y'all want me to put a screenshot up, I will. But It was just like a girl posted on Facebook. It says emergency COVID 19 help for babies. And this girl says, my name is such and such, and I have three babies in which I love dearly. Uh, my oldest, which is two, my youngest is one, and she has another baby on the way, but she had to go on unpaid medical leave due to COVID, and she has lung issues, and she had to cut her hours down for safety and children, and blah 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 because of COVID. So she's on a part-time job, and she has pre-existing conditions. She says she can't stand for long periods of time. She says she even tried to cut his hours, and it didn't help. And she can't get unemployment. Blah blah blah. She was like, they even tried to cut her hours. Uh, that didn't help. She's behind on rent with little no support system at all. And she says she does have a good relationship with her family or her kid's father. It's just a mess. My thing is though, with her, okay, she has a pre-existing lung condition. Her oldest is two. Her younger one is one, and she has one on the way. You know, and then I asked the girl, "Why would you post this? Did you post this as a joke?" She was like, "No, I didn't." And then he was like, "Well, why are you?" She said, "Why are you asking me this?" I said, "Well, first of all, just by reading the paragraph, is like she works a part time job. She has a lung condition, but she keeps having kids. If that lung condition is true, she doesn't work, and she has a bad relationship. She doesn't work that well because she says she was on part time in the first place. She doesn't have a good relationship with her family or her baby father. That says to me thought. That says to me irresponsible, unaccountable thought, and pretty much she's making a fool of everybody that is going to donate money to her. But she was like, and then the girl was like, "Nah, but I want to help. Why are you being such an asshole?" Blah blah blah. And then like I've constantly gone back. Well, I haven't constantly gone back, but every time I scroll my timeline and see that post, I'll go back to that. I'll go back and see how much that needle has moved on that money, and it hasn't moved. It hasn't moved. The needle hasn't moved. So really, who? Why did you post it? Why would you post it? Like that's why I asked. Like, was it a joke? And then, but I'm being an asshole. The only question I have for them is, why is it that she keeps having kids she can't afford? Two, one, and a baby on the way. You're working a part time job. You don't have a good relationship with your family or your boyfriend. And then, if you really were having issues due to COVID, why didn't you apply for the assistance just like everyone else did? These people are idiots. These people are idiots. Yeah. Yeah, but okay. All right, y'all. Well, yeah, yeah, it was great talking to y'all for this evening, And just one thing that I really want for, like I said, one thing I really want for my people is let's stop making idiots of ourselves. Let's start making smarter decisions. I'm not saying all of us are idiots, but I'm saying some of us are looking like it out here, and it's not good, and it's something that could be very easily avoidable. So just think about what I said because I said it, and that is going to be it for now. This is Kev. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Like, share, subscribe, and Kev, we trust. Goodbye.